There are more important things in life than continually trying to speed it up. Mahatma Gandhi. And from notes from this book, if you travel on your own through the Philippines archipelago, be prepared to be flexible from time to time. Transport on and between the larger islands is usually good, and there are more than enough hotels and restaurants to fit every budget. However, don't look for speed, exactness, and punctuality here. Just relax and learn to be as laid back as the locals. Wiser words have never been spoken. This is Jens Peters' Philippines Travel Guide. I highly recommend this. This is my favorite travel book for the Philippines. And it underscores, once again, my biggest challenge on living in the Philippines. Hey, let me actually make this smaller so you can look at the DSLR photos that I took without having to look at my ugly mug. The biggest challenge in the Philippines up to this point, and I've been here about 5 years now, is still myself. 95% of the time, I really enjoy my time in the Philippines. I'm saving a lot of money. The cost of living is low. The people are great. There's really no language curve here. And basically, things are great. 5% of the time, however, I'm basically going insane. And the lowest common denominator, the common thread through that is myself. My lack of coping skills and being able to deal with situations that are outside of my control. Now, in order to keep this video brief, I'll try to make these stories as brief as possible, but there's two recent examples of this. This past week, I decided to make a business investment in the Philippines. This is my first business investment in the Philippines. It's rather questionable. There's no safeguards. It's not FDIC insured. So we're basically going to see what happened. And if I lose my shirt, at least I can make a video out of it and make, I don't know, $5 back. But I decided to make this investment. In order to make the investment, you have to invest a minimum amount. So it required me going to the bank, having to take out USD, convert it to pesos, get a money order, and go to the other bank and deposit the money. So no problem, I think to myself. So I left it around 9 o'clock in the morning, right when the bank opened, and I basically got to the bank around 10 o'clock because I stopped for coffee. And I had to get in the customer service line, and that's where the problems started. Now, the bank that I belong to is the biggest bank in the Philippines. It's usually rather efficient. You go in there, you do your bank transactions with the teller, it's no big deal. Customer service, on the other hand, is something entirely else. It's a whole different animal. And if you've been in the Philippines, you might know what I'm talking about. So to make a long story short, too late, it basically took me 2.5 hours to see the customer service agent. And the reason for that delay was the people ahead of me in line were applying for loans. I don't know if they were house loans, I don't know if they were car loans, I don't know what kind of loans they were. And instead of the agent giving them the paperwork to go to the table with the pens and stuff to fill it out there and bring back the paperwork with any questions that they might have at a later time, the customer service agent actually had them fill the paperwork out there. Now, these loan applications were about 8 to 10 pages long. I didn't stop to count. And as you know, they can take a long time to fill out. And while the customer was filling the paperwork out, and it took, half an hour, 45 minutes for each one, the customer service agent was going on the computer because I was looking, and they were like surfing the net, updating their Facebook status, doing all that stuff. Oh, and speaking of online, congratulations, Philippines, 2018, for once again coming in first for most time spent on Pornhub. Keep up the good work. Okay, so after 2.5 hours, and I'm just watching this, and I'm watching it unfold, and I have time to try to, engage my coping mechanisms and my coping skills and all that, but I'm not. So basically, as time goes on, I'm getting more frustrated, I'm getting more impatient, I'm getting more stressed out, my coping skills aren't working, they're not being employed, and I'm having a hard time. Now, if we go back to what Jens Peters said, basically he said adapt yourself to the way the locals go. Basically what he's talking about there is this concept of bahala na, where it's up to whatever. A lot of times it's used in a religious context, like it's up to God or whatever. Na can be anything though. Other uses of bahala, you might hear it when you first come here and you ask, hey, how much is it for a trike ride down to here? And they'll say, bahala ka, it's up to you. It's not really up to you. They know the price they want. They just don't want to communicate it. Also, bahala ko is, it's up to me. So that's bahala na. That's the mindset. I guess you can call it like, island time or Caribbean time, but I'm not sure. So, anyways, continuing with the story, finally I get to see the customer service agent. They convert the money there right on the computer. They actually can do that, but they can't wire it to the other bank. Well, they could, but it would cost me about $87 to transfer the money wirelessly or whatever. So instead of doing that, I got a banker's check. It's basically like a cashier's check in the United States or a money order or something like that with the amount paid out and the depositor and all that stuff there. So I get that. I finally get out of there. Again, this is about 3 hours have gone past now. I'm a stressed out mess. I'm losing whatever hair follicles I have left. I get to the other bank. I deposit the money. It takes about another hour because they have to verify stuff, which is good because, I believe in verification, making sure the people are who the people are. And finally, I got out of there. Okay, again, a frazzled mess. And again, this state of consciousness is of my own choosing because I chose not to employ my own bahala na mind frame or to start drinking. I should start drinking early. All right, so the second part of this misadventure and me being my own worst enemy happened when I decided to go to the gym. I had planned to go to the gym, so I brought my change of clothes to go to the gym because you can't wear gym clothes into the bank. Well, I guess you could. I don't know. Maybe they'd shoot you. And I go down to Bogart's, which is a local establishment that I sometimes have been known to hang out at, and decide to change my clothes there. I go into the CR, I bring my change of clothes, I get changed, come back out, throw them on my bike, and I'm getting ready to take off when I realize I don't have my keys. And, that's bad enough because I'm looking around for my keys, feeling in my little gym shorts pocket. And then I realize that I just locked my keys underneath the seat in the seat storage compartment under my bike. Now, the problem with that is if you don't have the key on a Honda Click to unlock the underseat storage, you're not going to be able to get your keys. So I locked my keys in there, and at this point, I was just losing my mind. Thankfully, this actually went a little bit better because I was actually able to employ some of my skills, slow myself down, and try to reframe the whole situation. Instead of looking at the problem and getting all freaked out, I looked at the solution. I walked down to a hobble place down by the port, jumped on a hobble. He blasted me, and when I say blasted, I mean blasted. These guys drive like lunatics, and they always smell like tanduay. He blasted me back to the house. I got the spare key. He blasted me back to Bogart's. I was able to get my gym clothes and everything, and finally able to get to the gym. But again, when you're rushing around here, when you're on a mission and you're on mission mode and you're trying to get things accomplished with the greatest amount of time management and efficiency, sometimes that's not going to happen. As Jens Peters astutely notes, and as other people who have been here or heard about the Philippines, sometimes you're not going to be able to get stuff accomplished on the speed and efficiency that you want to. So those are just two more examples of me being my own worst enemy in the Philippines. Oh, look at bunnies. Bunnies are so cute. See, bunnies got the right mindset. I like that. If you have any experiences with this, leave it down in the comment section. Be sure to like, dislike, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. If you think this has been of any worth to you, consider supporting my continued efforts on Patreon. And until next time, actually, I got to get ready for it. We're going to be doing a big spaghetti fest here in Dumaguete on December 25th on Christmas Day. And I actually got to contact Bud Brown, because he's totally out of the loop on this, and we got to get this done. And until next time, make sure that you're employing your bahala na and your coping skills and all that stuff. Take it slow, take it easy. Don't forget to smell the roses, and peace out.